Isaias Sandoval is a respected doctor and high-ranking member of Humanity Front, and also a personal aide and close friend of William Taggart.
He knows I can't come back from that!
Everybody knows, Sandoval. You can't hide from what you've done.
Hello everyone, Brock from Brock and Sindri here, back again with another Cyberpunk Mondays. Last week we talked about Zeke Sanders, also known as Ezekiel Sandoval. Now we're going to talk about one of his brothers, another important character from Deus Ex Human Revolution. Let's get stuck straight in. Isaias is first encountered after Adam Jensen returns from the Highland Park FEMA facility, where he, along with Bill Taggart, is actually at Sarif Industries outside of David Sarif's office. There, Jensen can inquire about him, where he reveals he has a particular hatred for augmentations, having spent much of his career helping out victims of implant rejection and neuropazine addiction, and witnessed the dangerous side effects firsthand. He reveals that he had a brother who was an augmented veteran. Brother suffered augmentation psychosis as an effect of his military-given implant and attempted to commit suicide by cop by going on a rampage at a shopping mall. However, he was successfully talked down with no deaths by Bill Taggart, who treated him. Because of this incident, Sandoval feels he has a personal debt to Taggart. Later, Jensen finds out from Eliza Kassan that Sandoval was personally involved in the attack on Sarif Industries, having assisted the tyrants by surgically removing the Sarif scientists' GPL implants so that they could be kidnapped. It turns out that Sandoval could not entirely remove all of their implants. He could only lower the frequency to a point that no one would know to look for. Jensen obtained Sandoval's location from Taggart, a rundown apartment in Detroit near Derelict Road. However, when he reaches the apartment, he finds it is actually the entrance to a secret underground bunker and a hiding place of Sandoval, filled with Purity First members, an organization Sandoval had secretly been assisting behind Taggart's back all along, knowing his disdain for violence. Jensen finally confronts Sandoval in his private office, where he loads up a revolver with a single round and prepares to kill himself. Knowing his secret is out and his career is over, and that Taggart now will work to distance himself from him, Sandoval fears he has no future but in prison, and thinks of himself as a mass murderer for his complicity in the tyrant's activities, and is now prepared to take his own life. However, Jensen can actually talk him down with some persuasion, and Sandoval will agree to being arrested peacefully. Here are some of the responses for the peaceful win. Sandoval says he'll just spin it again, so you give him the tough love or empathize. If he says help pro-augmentation, and you give tough love. And if he says I was an idiot, you give him inspire. If he says look my wife in the eyes, give him empathize. And if he says am I the only person who feels this way, you give him empathize again. Alternatively, Sandoval would die by suicide if Jensen chooses to inspire, then inspire again, and then if Sandoval is still alive, empathize. Conversations do not always follow the exact same script, of course. Sandoval may die before Jensen even has the chance to make his third dialogue choice. If Sandoval does turn the gun on himself, Jensen will look away as the trigger is pulled. However, an exit wound appears on the back of Sandoval's head after the cutscene is over. If he's kept alive, he'd give Jensen some information regarding the tyrants and their attack on Sarif Industries, particularly that the scientists, including Megan, were taken alive. However, in the special case when Jensen gets the information regarding Sandoval's location without publicly confronting Taggart, a different cutscene is actually triggered. Jensen bursts into Sandoval's office as he attempts to contact help, disarming him and demanding the location of Sarif's kidnapped scientists. After Sandoval reveals what he knows, Jensen suffers a glitch that allows the former to reclaim his revolver and attack him, and this forces Jensen to either kill him or knock him out. Other than that, they approach Sandoval through his brother Ezekiel. It is never fully explained why the tyrant turns to Sandoval for assistance. During Jensen's confrontation, Sandoval angrily states that Taggart already knows the truth, suggesting that Taggart was truly cooperating with the tyrants during the attack on the Sarif Industries, or at least turning a blind eye to it, providing them with Sandoval's expertise as a physician. This could be further supported by a pocket secretary found in the FEMA camp's infirmary, in which Taggart tells Sandoval that his expertise as a surgeon is what kept the scientists alive. The quick KC summary, that's the CASIE social enhancer augmentation. Personality traits are irrational, insecure and apathetic, and his psychological profile is desperately needs someone who can unearth the good in him, can easily fall into a gloom state from which he needs to be elevated, tends to rationalize events so he doesn't have to deal with them, and forcing him to get through is the only answer. Here's some notes. Sandoval is left-handed. What a freak, I know. Despite him only visibly loading his revolver with 1 bullet, the revolver can be picked up for 5 rounds. Hacking anything or going backstage before engaging in conversation with Taggart at the convention center would then cause Sandoval to be hostile, preventing the conversation and forcing Jensen to kill or knock out Sandoval and keeping the last straw achievement from unlocking. Isaiah and Ezekiel are the names of prophets found in Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, just like mentioned in last week's video. Sandoval is an omega type of personality, and his blood type is O negative, which is quite rare, I believe. It is possible to accidentally lock the mission path into Sandoval being hostile instead of suicidal. Although it has been speculated that this was due to hacking Taggart's computer, it can be triggered from a variety of causes, and some players have reported success through using the computer and planting evidence. It is not required to start a new game to avoid this once it occurs, as was previously supposed. Rather, it's possible to be resolved by loading a save at or around the very start of the Detroit 2 area and proceeding with the main quest immediately without completing any side quests. If proceeding along the path of conversation with Taggart to reveal Sandoval's location, it is necessary to avoid any hostile action within the convention center whatsoever, including hacking alarm panels or the security computer.
And that just about does it. Law this week on Isaias Sandoval. We've spent the last 2 weeks looking at the 2 brothers, Zeke Sanders and Isaias Sandoval. What are your thoughts on the 2? I thought that they were quite a good look at characters that might be opposed to augmentations and these kind of technological advancements, and therefore gave some good conversation and good world building, but also a bit of philosophy thrown in there as well. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you next week on another Cyberpunk Mondays.
But you are correct. For the sake of my family, I must give this another try. Take the gun. I don't need it anymore.
Pritchard, get this. The GPLs are still transmitting. Sandoval switched them to a lower frequency.